Hey guys, here we are in the first round. We won the die roll, which I always like to do, and let's choose to go first. And this hand seems completely reasonable. So we got one mana play here, and then we've got a couple other creatures. So we'll keep it, and let's see how we do here. So whenever using fetches in this deck, you should always use the Misty first over the Windswept Heath, just because the Misty can only find a forest in the duels, whereas the Windswept Heath can find a basic plains if we need it. So it's just strictly better to use the Misty first, so we can keep more options open. And I think I'm going to get a Temple Garden. So now if they go a turn 1 creature, maybe their own ramp creature or whatnot, we can just Reflector Mage it, and then next turn cast both these cards. It really depends what they're playing though. They could be playing like a non-creature deck. Looks like it's going to be a hand disruption spell. Probably going to take the Militia Captain. Then again, it really depends on the context of his hand. Like Thalia's Lieutenant might look intimidating. And if he's got like a Dark Confidant, then the Reflector Mage might be the correct choice. Really depends. So kind of like a next level thing you can do is, when looking at your hand, put yourself in their shoes and think, what card would I take if I had such and such cards in my hand? So we can probably deduce, since he didn't take Reflector Mage, that he doesn't have a 2-drop creature. So I will play a Windswept Heath and play the Captain. Well, you know what? I might as well get in for one. I will fetch for... Let's get a forest. So I've already got the blue source. So now really all that I want to draw is Collect Companies from this point on. It's just strictly the best card in my deck. That's even true. I mean, you might say you want to draw a second Path Exile, but hitting a Coco would mean that I could hit an Eternal Witness, which could get back this path. So even that is, it's still probably strictly better to just draw Companies from here on out. Lots of hand disruption. Oh, looks like we're playing against some type of Eternal Witness is a good draw. I think I'm going to just get back Thalia's Lieutenant. And I don't know if I need to play this land. I think I'd rather just keep it in my hand. Just as a buffer if he has like Raven's Crime or whatnot. Okay, so I think I can safely get rid of Path. And I think I'm fine getting rid of Eternal Witness. And I'll get rid of the Forest. I'll just keep my lands in my hand. The way that he kills me is by having me empty my hand, so I'm going to keep as many cards in my hand as possible while still applying pressure. Okay, I'm just going to sack the lieutenant. So here, what would I name with this? I think I'm just going to name Snaring Bridge. I think that's the one card that could potentially beat me. So what could he have here? The rack. So I think I'm fine just attacking with everything. I mean, he can trade his Mutavault for the Meddling Mage, but let's see here. Let's see what I draw first before I decide. I mean, there's a chance his last card's in Snaring Bridge, but it's unlikely. I could just play it safe, attack with these two. He'd probably trade with the Pilgrim, take 3 down to 5, and then I'd have lethal next turn. So you know what? I think I'm just going to attack with the Captain and the Pilgrim just to play it a little bit safe. So now he needs a removal spell. Smallpox is probably his best draw. Doesn't look like he has. Maybe he does. Oh, Dismember. Sure. Okay, so he's going to go down to 3, and then we're playing Noble Hierarch, and then I again have a lethal clock in play. So again, Smallpox is a good draw for him. Maybe top deck another dismember. There's a collect a company. So I think I'm going to I'll play this. Because even if he has a removal spell for this, I'm probably going to collect a company at the end of his turn anyways. Yep, top decked another. Okay, so I'm going to be taking 5 off of his rack effects. Okay, so it's unlikely he has another dismember, but we'll name it anyways. We'll get back the we're gonna get back this collect a company. Or you know what, we could also just get back Thalia's lieutenant, just to make all of our creatures lethal. So yeah, I'll do that. And that's enough for the concession. Okay, so against this deck here, let's see what we want out of the sideboard. We probably, you know what, Kataki's War Wage might be good because he has the rack, probably ensnaring bridge type cards. Pride Mage to blow up his rack effects. Meddling Mage is probably fine. I think we can probably just cut all the Reflector Mages. Eternal Witness might be good just because we can Coco into it and it will put another card into our hand so we don't take damage from the rack effects. And paths are probably pretty bad. So negate is probably fine. And maybe just a surgical. Surgical might be fine too. Being able to, like, if I can blow up one of his racks and just surgical the rest of them. Or maybe a smallpox is worth surgicaling. Okay, this hand seems fine. Could be better. So he chose to let me go first, which is kind of funny. I guess I have one less card to work with. But I'm going to get to Meddling Mage Smallpox, which is probably the best card to name. I mean, he could have Dismember, but I think Smallpox... Oh, it looks like he has the Inquisition for the Meddling Mage. I'm going to play out my creatures. Just want to get as big of a clock on as possible. Now if he has any more like Inquisition type cards, he could have Raven's Crime. Most of these decks do run Raven's Crime, which just has me discard any card so it can hit lands. But if all he has is like an Inquisition or something, Smallpox would be pretty good here too. Sure. So I'm just not going to play out any of these lands. I don't really need to right now. Lands are going to be the trickiest for him to get out of my hand. Could have Liliana here, which would be a little bit rough. Oh, great, Thoughtseize. I don't know if it's correct for him to Thoughtseize there. I guess what else is he doing with it? But at the same time, I would have played out pretty much any card that I drew. Sure. Sure. Well, I'm drawing a lot of lands. Another Thoughtseize. He's just like, this guy's drawing so many lands, he's so lucky. Okay. Discard a card. I'll just discard Hog Fountain. I'll sack that. And I'll sack a forest. Meddling Mage is good. So I think here I'm just going to name Smallpox. I fetched for the untapped blue so that I could just keep attacking, getting the extra point with Noble Hierarch. Raven's Crime is a good draw. So what I would like to draw here is another Meddling Mage effect. I am drawing a ton of lands. So I do need to draw like a Noble Hierarch or Meddling Mage. Or a Pride Mage. Any of these cards. Even a Collected Company is probably good because I can hit a Thales Lieutenant. So I do have quite a few draws here. Just need to draw something other than a land, ideally. There we go. I can actually just... So I couldn't copy... Oh yeah. I was thinking Phantasmal Image. If this was a Phantasmal Image, I could copy Hierarch for the win. Let's see here. Where's Raven's Crime? So I think he's actually locked out, because I think Smallpox and Raven's Crime are the only two cards in his deck that he could draw that could get me to discard this. I mean, I guess he could draw another rack effect. Yeah, if he draws like a rack or the black version of it, can't think of the name of it. But the one mana black one, I'd be dead as well. So he's got 6 outs in 45 cards. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was just dead. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay, what do I want here? Do I want surgical? Probably not. I was thinking like additional surgicals so that I could hit his Raven's Crime. But no, I think I just need to draw like a reasonable amount of pressure. Like more pressure than like 2 power. Okay, this seems fine. Probably going to get a card taken, but keeping 7 is good against the discard deck. So I think I'm just going to fetch Forest, play Hierarch. Just need to apply pressure. Yeah, for some reason I wasn't thinking that I was so fixated on having him not be able to cast Raven's Crime that I didn't think that casting that card was putting me to lethal. I mean, there's nothing I could have done anyways, because either I play it and I die, or I keep it and he just Raven's Crimes and I have to discard something and then I die. So I really needed to draw like a Collect Company or Thalia's Lieutenant or the Pride Mage or Phantasmal Image would have allowed me to copy the Hierarch for the Exalted Trigger. So I did have outs, but did not get there. So let's see what my opponent is going to do here. Thoughtseize. Let's see which one he decides to take. Sure. Okay, I'm going to so I'm probably not going to play any more lands. Just because he has Smallpox. Like, if he plays a Smallpox, chances are I'm sacking the Hierarch in a land, so I'm just so far away from activating Township anyways. I just kind of want to keep as many lands in my hand as possible. If I could draw like a collect a company next turn, that would be great. I'd be able to collect a company into 2 creatures that would flip my captain, and I could potentially hit like meddling mage or something. Sure. You got it. So a collect a company would be great here. Oh, phantasmal image. Okay, I guess I'll play phantasmal image. So now I'm getting pretty close to actually activating the township. I can activate an attack with 2 exalted triggers. Liana, sure. Not too sure why my opponent has this upkeep stop, or what's taking him so long. But he's down to 9 minutes left. I still have 15. So he's definitely eating up more of the clock than I am. It would be nice if I could draw a collect company. Feels kind of strange that I'm only 10 cards deep. It feels like so much has already happened in this game. The gate is good. So I think I'm going to actually just play out my land so that I can hold up township. Even though he's probably going to cast something that I'm going to want to negate anyways. But I think I'm going to want to play land anyways because I'm going to want to start activating townships eventually. Okay, so this is a great card to negate. Just going to get a green-white. Eternal Witness is good. So now I need to decide. I think I'm just going to take the militia captain. I could take Phantasmal Image to copy Eternal Witness to take it back, but then it's probably just going to get discarded. And this is just going to present a huge clock for the opponent to deal with. Looks like this guy's going to flip, and then I can start putting counters onto my dudes. Liliana is fine. I think I'm just going to sack E-Witness. So that does prevent my Militia Captain from flipping, but that's fine. So we could have a Dismember here. I think I'm just going to play this out. I could just name Dismember. I think I will. Whoops. Where are you? Dismember. The reason I'm renaming Dismember is, one, I for sure am killing Liliana here by only sending one creature at it. But also, Dismember is the one thing that could like kill my Militia Captain before flipping. I mean Smallpox as well, but he's already cast a Smallpox. And Smallpox would just deal with like Kataki's War Wage or whatever, and then I could just easily draw another creature. Because I think flipping this is a guaranteed win against him with Dismember being locked out. And he just concedes. Perfect. So there you guys have round one. We'll see you guys for the next round.